Hey, Gereon here. I wanted to talk specifically today about a topic that many people super underestimate, which are online negotiation preparation or preparation for negotiations in general. And I think if you're going through online negotiations, what we see a lot during these days are red lights and green lights, traffic light negotiations. And these are designed to be super emotional for you as a supplier so that you really want to win, as if you were in a casino. And the problem with that is that you might get super excited about something and gaining the business because you see a red or a yellow traffic light, and then in the end you want to get that business, and so you are going underneath your threshold where you're not maintaining your margins. And I think, and this sounds maybe counterintuitive, but when you're going through such a negotiation, specifically online, what you should be focusing on is not the actual traffic lights. And with a little bit of preparation, you can make sure that you're not underbidding yourself. Because the first reason for that, why this is very important, there are often targets that are set that don't have anything to do with the prices that anybody else is offering. So you might be underbidding against yourself. Not always the case, but it can be. But I also think that winning a business means nothing if you cannot maintain your rates over the course of a contract, because you will maybe gain something, you have on your balance sheet some revenue for a couple of months, but then the big problem that is coming in afterwards is that you will have to request maybe a price increase. You didn't put enough buffer in your margins so that the business is no longer sustainable. Revenue is nicely flowing in, but you're not making any money. And let's see how we can avoid that. I made an easy example here, as you can see on the screen, with 3 iPhones. I just said iPhone 15, iPhone 16 Pro, and let's put here iPhone 15 Pro. Or maybe let's switch it up because the 15 should be cheaper than the 16. But if you look at this here, this is very simple. I would prepare a simple sheet that looks like the pricing sheet that you were asked to fill out. In column B, as you can see here, I have the quantity that is being offered. We're saying 16 for iPhone 15, iPhone 15 Pro for 25, and then the iPhone 16 Pro is ordered 35 times. And this is now in column C, the price that you're offering right now. You're offering $500, $150, and then $1,000 for the iPhone 16 Pro. And what is important is then, of course, also how much money are you going to make. So I would make one column where you see, okay, my total is going to be 61,750. As I said, fictional example would be great if you get a new iPhone at that price. But what is now important is that you also know what is your margin, right? So never share this directly with your client. Well, I'm saying never, but maybe give them an indication about what your margins are. But in this case, I'm calculating with pretty hefty margins of 40 to 50%. So be careful when you share those so that nobody feels ripped off. But you need that for your internal calculation. And then what I did, I calculated what my break even is. Of course, you can either calculate that or you know already what your break even is. In this case, it would be $300 for the iPhone 15. iPhone 15 Pro would be 413. iPhone 16 Pro would be 500. And then maybe you're saying, okay, I want to maintain a margin here in column H of at least 10%. Okay, during my negotiations. And that then translates in the lowest price that you can offer, which is 330 for the iPhone 15, 455 for the iPhone 15 Pro, and for the 16 Pro, 550. And overall, you would make still 35,905, which then translates to a discount of almost 42%, which is a hefty discount. But, with tech, sometimes that actually happens. So let's say you have the leeway right now to offer a 42% discount in this upcoming negotiation, that you can still be profitable with. But here's also the catch. When you're going into an online negotiation, what you have to remember is, where am I in the negotiation phase? It might be that this is the first negotiation. They are wanting to see who is going to get close to a price, who are they going to invite to a final round. So what you don't want to do is offer that lowest price that you can offer right away if you're already knowing that there will be a negotiation afterwards. And then what is important is, okay, you give some discount in the first round, and then in the end, you have some room to give some more over the next couple of rounds. Pro tip here is ask your client on how many rounds they're going to negotiate with you. I know this is pretty price focused here right now, very niche, but it's important. And I know that many suppliers aren't doing this. Okay, so fill this out, and then you know, independently of what any of the target traffic lights are showing you, here is the lowest price that you can offer. And then you can even add, let's say this is only the first round of negotiations, you could even add here the lowest price we can offer today, right? And that might be very different from the lowest price you can offer in general. Maybe you want to leave some space, right? As I said, so maybe it's 400 today, 500, and then 650 for the 16 Pro, which would then still leave you with some good margins. So 33%, 21%, and 30% respectively, which would be good, right? And then, of course, alternatively, if this is the last round of negotiations, I would still define the lowest price that you can offer here in column G. And then I would go and see, how can I get to that lowest price? Maybe towards the end of the negotiation, if this is a traffic light, right? So that if it's a traffic light, then somebody else will see the red or the yellow lights as soon as you are offering your lowest price. So in that case, maybe do that 10 minutes before the end, and so that they might not have as much time to adjust their pricing, because not everybody's going to be as prepared as you are. If this is, of course, a knockout negotiation where maybe the price is starting very low, let's say at 200 for the 15 Pro, for the 15, sorry, and then it's going up, then just hit the price when you can, right? So once the ticker is at 330, 455, and 550 for a line item, just select that and go ahead. Another thing that is, of course, important is that you log into the portal beforehand and that you figure out, are we going to offer this, right? A price per line item, or maybe you're just offering a total price and they're going to ask you for a pricing sheet afterwards. So in any case, it would be handy to have this sheet here, because you can play around with the lowest prices and can see what the total is in the end, right? So here, if I adjust this and put this 300 in, the price is changing here. Total price is changing with 200, changing to 33,825. Let's put a ridiculously low price here for the 16 Pro. You know, you might be landing at 18,000. But this is very important preparation to do so that you're not getting stressed out when you are in that online negotiation and the time is ticking. You have maybe 5 minutes left to offer your best and you don't know what to do. With this sheet, you will know what you're going to do. Yeah, I hope this is helpful. And if you ever struggle with your strategy on how to approach procurement and going through negotiations, go to 21consulting.xyz and sign up for a free consultation. I'm looking forward to talking to you. Thanks.